Okay, this video is for all 10th grade students and their advisory teachers to walk through what students should have all completed for the end of the first quarter for the individual career and academic plan. So the first few sessions, the students were supposed to create their live binder portfolio and copy a template, and then create this about.me page as kind of their home page, which is an easy access for teachers, families, students, parents to be able to view their portfolio and the progress that they have as they build upon this throughout high school. So a quick way for teachers to verify that students have it completed is maybe sending a Google form out to your entire advisory and have the students type in their home page for their about.me page, which enables you to be able to just click on that link, which would take them to this home page I have in front of you. All students, if they followed the directions correctly, their URL for this should read about.me / their first and last name and their graduation year. So if they didn't fit that incorrectly, they would need to provide you with the link that they did create for their about.me page. So once you're in here, this is kind of their holder, and then you have View My Portfolio. So if a student's done this correctly, you would click on View My Portfolio, and it would take them into their Bettendorf template that they copied over, and then they'd have the right information that they need to edit for this school year. So to verify what students should have completed so far, once you're in their portfolio, there are 2 entries for 10th grade. The first one is under self-understanding. Under the 9 through 12 future ready goals, they should have answered those 3 questions. And those 3 questions relate to the activity we did at the beginning of the school year where students identified what their spark was. Then the other entry should be under 10th grade artifact 1. And again, we're just under the self-understanding tab. They would need to answer these questions. Now, these questions come from reflecting on their matchmaker information. This is an assessment that students took in 8th grade, basically looking at matching certain careers to their interests and their strengths, and then possibly their skills if they took those skills assessment as well. So where they're looking to answer these, I'm going to briefly pull up an example. If you go into career cruising here, and I have a student example, but if you go in and log in as their career cruising and they click on My Plan on the top of the screen, and when they get into My Plan, you're going to see here under My Assessments, there's Matchmaker and My Skills. So if you go into My Assessments, they can view some of their results. So the Career Matchmaker, once they go in here, you're going to see for this student back in 2015, that's when most students, if they're in the Bettendorf Community School District at that time, would have taken this as an 8th grader. Possibly might have done it last year as well. But the goal moving forward is that they would take an 8th grade and 10th grade and be able to compare those different results. So if I go in and look at results from 2015 as a student, this is the results that I got as an 8th grader when I went through the Career Matchmaker. The goal then for students is to go ahead and take this assessment again as a 10th grader. If they haven't done that, if you didn't get to that point in an advisor here a few weeks back, they would start a new matchmaker, put in the date, and go through this again. So they would have some information from their 8th grade year, and then they would have some information from their 10th grade year. That would allow the student to reflect and be able to go back to their portfolio here and reflect and answer these questions so they can see what has really changed about my skills or my interest and what maybe careers match kind of what my career academic plan is at this time. Now, to edit their portfolios, I do want to give you a brief overview on how to do that. So this just kind of caps what 10th graders should have. So they should have the About Me page. When you go to the portfolio, then they should have an entry under Future Ready and also their 10th grade Artifact 1. If they've done both of those things, they have the first quarter requirements complete, and we would just like them to document that in Career Cruising, and I will show a different video to show students and advisory teachers how students will go into Career Cruising to document their portfolio and their assessment completion. Okay, so that will be in a different video here. To edit their live binder, what I do want to show you is I am logged in over here. So a student needs to be logged in order to do this. But if you go to live binder, the home page here, so I'm actually going to log out so you can see what this would look like. So on the live binder home page, I'm going to go ahead and click sign up because this is where a lot of students were having difficulty. If I click sign up with Google, this is where students were putting in their email, and what was happening in the directions is they were not getting the sign up button. What students have to do is they actually have to put their cursor in the second email address and actually hit enter or go, because what it wants to do, it wants to match these two emails to make sure they correctly match each other. Once it does that, it will actually take you to their live binder shelf. I'm going to do this, but what you're going to see is I'm going to get Google account exists when I do this. If I press enter, it matches, but then I get these red notes here because I'm already actually in as a user. Okay, so if that happens with students, they're already in the system, they actually need to go to log in with Google, and then this would take them to their live binder area where it shows their shelves and their different binders. If students have done this correctly and copied the binder correctly, they would have a binder that has a big letter B on it. That is the Bettendorf template. If they don't have that and they have something that just says start here and then says ICAP portfolio, they did not correctly copy the template. So I will have to show you where students will need to go back and find that link to get that copied over. And I can walk you through that in some different steps here. But to edit this, once they're in here, they would just click edit, and then it brings it to an editing screen. So if they go to their future ready goal, and here's their Spark activity, just click here to edit, and it gives them the toolbar, and they can use colors, however they want to do that to go ahead and update the reflection on the Spark activity. When done, they should click save. And then the other one is on 10th grade artifact 1. If they click here, same thing. Now some students might decide that they want to add pictures. How you do that is you would just hit add content, and then you get to choose what type of content you would like to add to this page. If it's a picture, it might be saved in their Google Drive, so they could click on Google Drive, find that picture, and then it would upload it to their page. Okay, so that is basically how they go through and edit their different parts of their portfolio. So I'm going to click save here, and what I'd like to do is go back and show you where some of these directions are for copying the binder. So I'm going to click on this create live binder portfolio. Where some students were having some difficulty is they were not clicking on this link right here to get a copy of their portfolio. So I'm going to click on this to show you what it would look like. Once I'm logged into live binder, I click here. This is the sample. So what students need to do is click on these 3 lines right here and then come over here to copy. Okay, so it copies that template. Now if I go back to my shelf, okay, so here's welcome in my name, I'm going to go back to my binders, and now you're going to see I have a second one in here. Okay, the one that says copy. So I don't need this because I already have one, but those are the steps where some students may not have copied over the template correctly. They might actually have to hit refresh in here. If it's not showing up right away, they might have to hit refresh, and then that new portfolio would show up. Okay, so if students haven't done that, then they probably need to, once they've done that, go back to this document with the directions and follow through how to name and copy the right information into that binder. Okay, so the directions for today's advisory basically goes through and puts all the links from previous advisories in here. So here's a lot of the previous directions for 10th grade on creating the matchmaker and career cruising. And then I've also put in the links here, the live binder, how to create it, how to create the about me, how to edit the Spark in the future ready tab. And so those should take students through step by step where they can access these links and be able to follow through. Hopefully this video is a little bit helpful. If you have questions, please email or contact Mrs. Kleppe. And then I will do a second video here. So if you have everything completed, how a student will document in this career cruising. So I'll add a different video for that.